In the very first episode of this podcast, I have a Italian biologist called Ignazio Avella, who did his bachelor's degree at the University of Naples. He then went on for a master's at the University of Rome, working on snakes, which I believe is his first love. And now, well, since 2018, he's been working at the CBO Research Center in Portugal on vipers. And he is a PhD student, but he has already published more than 11 scientific papers, I think. Am I right there? And he has worked in, well, all over Europe, but also in Morocco, Namibia, Mexico, Peru, Guyana. He's all over the place chasing snakes. Welcome, Ignazio. Good to see you.
Hi, Larry. Thank you. Thanks for having me here. Yes, it's 11, but not all of them are peer-reviewed. So, you got them.
Well, it was,
different things.
But all on snakes, I think, right?
Mostly on snakes. Yes, sir. Mostly on snakes. Every now and then some amphibians on the way.
All right, right. And you're doing a PhD now on snake venom. I mean,
yeah.
A PhD is it's not fun always. It's a long, hard work. Why venom, man? What's so important about snake venom?
Why venom? Well, let's start with saying that, as you say, snakes are my first love, but also my biggest love. So I also like amphibians. I like other things. But definitely, I really wanted to work on snakes for something, as you were saying, as if I need to dedicate myself to a PhD, it better be on snakes. No? I was wondering, okay, what's cool about snakes? Why am I so driven towards them? Why I really like them? First of all, they're cool in general, but they're beautiful colorations. I don't know, there is this kind of passion that many people have towards these slithering things without legs. And then, I was like, you know what? I think that what really catches the attention about snakes is their potential, like the harmful potential and so on. So, venom, super cool stuff.
So you think that's it? Because there's a lot of guys like you who are just mad about snakes and that have trouble saying why. I mean, I see it, but I
would say, it's probably one of the main reasons. It's like the thrilling of handling something that worst case scenario can also kill you, but it's probably one of the main things that can lead, I would say, this passion, this interest towards these animals. Love get loved, they say.
But it also makes the field work a little bit risky, right? If you're going out into middle of bloody nowhere and you get bitten by a snake, you're in real trouble.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Especially if you go to. Also, they have the tendency to be in very remote places usually, whether it be in the jungle or in the desert, where you're pretty bloody far away from hospitals or antivenoms. So you wanna keep an eye on those, 100%.
And this year you went to Guyana?
Yes.
Last summer, right? It was last summer, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly. It was from June to August. It was a fantastic experience. I had the chance to go there, for a social science project. You just go there. I was there as a volunteering to be fair. And my aim, what I had to do there was basically bring students into the jungle. It was with Operation Wallacea, this very nice organization that does this kind of science. You just bring students into the jungle, you show them the animals, you tell them a couple of things about whatever you see around. So of course, Guyana is a fantastic place to look for wildlife.
Yeah, what is it like? Is it all jungle like people imagine, or what was it like?
Pretty much, yes. I was shocked when I saw it. When you're landing from the plane and you just see insane amount of green everywhere, canopy cover, gigantic canopy cover everywhere. And actually, they told me, you know what, 80% of the surface of the country is made of primary forest. I don't know if this is totally right, but I can definitely see 80% of the country being green.
And you stay there right in the jungle, or were you more like in a town or a city?
We were staying actually in a very small village in the north of Guyana, and that is literally buried in the deep primary and secondary forest. It was fantastic. So amazing chances to see an insane amount of wildlife. Definitely has been the best jungle I've seen so far. Let's say they've been around for a while, but it has really been impressive.
And you were there with a big group of students then staying in a hotel or in a bunk bed?
No. It was not a hotel. Yeah. No. It was not hotel. It was a pure experience, pure jungle experience. Yes. As I said, we were in this village, so we were living with the local community. With the local people. It was absolutely great. People that live on, for example, they still hunt with bows and arrows. It's fantastic. And
Oh, wow.
yes,
Yeah.
super cool. We were there, tents, hammocks. That was how we were living on the basis. We fantastic. Having also the issues of getting drinkable water or getting your stuff. Yeah, if you wash your clothes, you want to get it dry, but it's the rainforest. It's a little issue, let's say.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Beautiful.
great experience.
And so you went into the gorgeous jungle there, and what happened?
Oof, I could tell you many stories. Like, if we stick to snakes, to say it has been absolutely amazing. The fact that I was going out every single night, for everything, because of course, yeah, you want to show as much as you can, and of course, at night the jungle is absolutely alive. Can be even a bit overwhelming at some point.
So you were there at the head of like a column of 20 students or
That's it.
something?
That's it. Yes, exactly. I was taking a bunch of students with me every night. Like, they were divided into groups because, of course, there were at best, like I would say, 60 people. But you cannot take 60 people with you in the jungle all at the same time. So yeah, we were making smaller groups. Let's say 8, 9 people every time, and we were going on these transects. These trails that were defined pretty much in the jungle, going around a bit. Yeah, stopping at everything that was moving. And at night in the jungle, it's amazing because every little thing is moving. Between invertebrates, mammals, birds, reptiles, of course, amphibians, you could literally see everything.
Yeah.
It was amazing that every single night that we went out, of course, I was focusing on the pedofauna, but we could find a different species of snake, for example. That was amazing. You never find the same thing. So, you keep the enthusiasm always high. It's not like, oh no, you go around and you always find the same toad on the same trail, and it's always new. It was
So what
always
was
new.
the most amazing thing you saw there?
The most amazing thing, without any doubt, that really made it the best herpetological night of my life so far, has been a Bushmaster. But it has been absolutely amazing. Also, the way we found it, because I knew it was there. Of course, Guyana is in the range of the species. It is one of my favorite species, biggest viper in the world, up to 4 meters at best, something like that. And I really, really wanted to see one, but I knew that it is extremely rare. There are people that have looked for it for years, and I never had the chance to find it.
Ooh,
Right?
right.
I knew it was there. I was getting very stressed because I could not find it, walking all those trails, but still I couldn't find it.
Do you know where to look for or something like that?
Yeah, you can look for it. Well, it's basically, a big snake that will be coiled up. It can be in the middle of your trail, exactly, in the middle of your transit. You can stay there for days looking for prey to catch, in ambush. It can be under a log. They eat really like, rotten logs and trees, and they just stay there waiting. And they're very, very nicely camouflaged. So sometimes it can be difficult to see even a snake that is 3.5 meters.
And this is a dangerous snake, right?
It's super dangerous. It's super dangerous because of the size of it. It can inject insane amount of pain. And that's exactly the point of it. And then again, it really occurs in this very remote primary forest. So if you get bitten there before you reach an hospital, you're going to have a hard time. Yeah? It's going to be very complicated.
So isn't that a bit scary going with students who don't know anything?
It is, of course, very scary. The first thing that I always tell them, guys, don't touch anything. If you see anything, just call me. We try to assess the situation because, of course, many snakes are not dangerous for humans, but you don't know. You guys just don't know. Now, let me deal with this. I will just check if it's possible maybe to handle it a bit, to get closer or not, if the situation is safe or not. But yeah, with the Bushmaster, it was just fantastic because it was absolutely unexpected. I was really stressed. I really wanted to see this animal. I knew it was there. The night that it happens, you just don't know. It just happens. And
had you already given up on seeing it, or?
I was not giving up on seeing it, but I was just thinking, you know what? If it happens, fantastic. But if it doesn't, I'm not gonna, get stressed. I'm not gonna ruin my experience just with this kind of anxiety, with this kind of nervousness that I really need to see this animal. Right?
This was super high on your list.
This is my top species in my bucket list. Okay, after that, after that, you get what I think is called emotional hangover. You just get, this gigantic rush of adrenaline when you finally see it. You finally find your favorite species, a unicorn, for many herpetologists in the world. Yeah, I just hit the jackpot.
So what happened? You were walking in the jungle, and then?
I was walking in the jungle, especially the night, with a very, very tiny group of students. We were literally 4 people. just going around because it was after a very, very long rainy day. No one really wanted to go out. We're a bit tired already, halfway into the expedition. Like, yeah, you know what? I feel like this is a nice night to go out. And I go out and I pass in front of this gigantic boulder that is always on the transit, of course. No one's going to move that, right? And I've seen that boulder already for several days, several nights. Same thing ever. I always thought, this could be a nice place for a big snake. Something like that. Always you can find like footprints around. You can find, tracks of jaguars, because of course they also have jaguars there.
Okay.
Rabbits, opossums, mammals, crawling around. And as I always did, I just look a bit at the tracks. I say, maybe there was a jaguar here, but of course you don't see it. Like every other night, I look at it, and in the back of my head, literally maybe 1 meter away, I was listening to this rattling, right? This little vibration that kind of reminds of a cicada, all right? I was saying, this must be a cicada. There's plenty of invertebrates in the jungle. Then I stand up, literally. I turned my head on the other side of the transit. So the boulder was on the right. I look on the left after I look at the boulder. And my high torch just points on this massive snake. It was Bushmaster indeed. 1 meter away from me, in my back, yes, on my back, 1 meter away, yes. I had absolutely not seen that.
Yeah.
Just because I was looking on the other side of the trail.
Yeah.
And the guy was just there, rattling his tail on the ground, making this vibration, very high frequency vibration, very cool. I screamed like a crazy guy. Like, whoa, this kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
jackpot. Absolute jackpot.
Absolutely. I mean, and 1 meter away, this is a big snake. He could almost strike you at that distance, right?
Yeah. I tell you what, like it was 1 meter away, but the snake itself was 1 meter and 80, right? So even taller than me.
Yeah.
He's not even the biggest one because they reach 4 meters, but definitely it was in, lunge distance. It could have gone for me. Thank God it's a gentle giant, they call it. Maybe because just how massive it is, he's not going to be that aggressive. Definitely. Amazing night. Best night of my life so far.
Yeah. Hitting the number one on your bucket list, man. How was that?
Sir.
You were floating the rest of the night, or?
Yeah. The rest of the week, I would say, yes. I had 1 week when I was absolutely high on enthusiasm for this.
So
fantastic.
what happened when you first saw it? Then what? What did you do?
I remember, as I told you, like we were 4 people in total, right? We just standing there in awe, and the snake was just, with the head up, looking at us. Yeah, and we were just staring at each other for, I would say, roughly 5 minutes. I didn't know what to do after screaming. I was like, all right, I'm gonna spend the next 4 hours, independently from the mosquitoes, from the rain, for everything. It really doesn't matter. I'm gonna take pictures of this fantastic animal.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I really literally spent 3 hours in the mud, in the dead leaf litters, covered in mosquitoes, just taking pictures of the animals, of this animal. Guess what? No, I'm not satisfied with even one of those pictures. Not one of those pictures makes really justice to how beautiful this animal was.
No.
Fantastic. Beautiful.
But the experience stays, man. The experience.
Yes, that's exactly it. You can take as many pictures as you want. Experience is totally another thing. So grateful for it. It was just hitting the jackpot in the most unexpected way.
And your students, how did they respond to this?
So you have to know that these students actually didn't know much about snakes, all right? Of course, they're cool, so I like them. But I really think that the enthusiasm that I was having at the time, like they absolutely freaked out with me. It was like, oh, fantastic, we found it. What's the name of this thing again?
Yeah.
It was that.
So that pretty much concluded Guyana for you, right? I mean, that's your number one species. No reason to go back, or
100%. 100%. That was my number one species. But of course, there is so much more to be seen. Of course, I want to see bigger bushmasters also. And then I saw RP eagles. I think I saw a jaguar at some point. Just 2 big green eyes in the night. That calls for a big mammal, right? And some spots. Could have been another big cat. I really don't know. I'm no mammal specialist. But yeah.
I mean, I've had that experience in the desert in Morocco with some big green eyes slightly too high above the path for you to be comfortable with staring at you. I mean, how was that, seeing a jaguar in the wild? I mean, that's one of the strongest cats there is.
This was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. We knew, of course, there were jaguars around because there were some little farms. And apparently every now and then there is a a farm animal, disappearing, because a big jaguar maybe goes there and gets lunch.
Yeah.
And we were basically sailing on a tiny boat, on the river. We were very close to the river there. And at some point, we were with the headlamps looking at the canopy cover, because every now and then you can find like hanging snakes, boas, tree boas and so, or even opossums, night monkeys and such. At some point, our lights literally shine on these green eyes. And you could see from the distance of the eyes, that was pretty much this, was a big head, right?
Okay.
There might have been a big, big head. And there are not really many big animals around there. Like you can have a tapir, but it doesn't have spots, because we also saw some spots, all right? We saw it for maybe 3 seconds, 4 seconds, stared at us, and disappeared in the night. And when it went away, what we could see was like 4 spots, like yellowish, dark spots.
Okay, so you really know what it was one. It really was.
Everyone said, the mammal scientists, the guides there say, this was a jaguar. And we all shut down. Like we couldn't speak, because of course we want that second to last as long as possible. But they're too smart. They're not like snakes. They don't stand there. They just leave after a while.
Oh, awesome. Chills down your back when you see something like that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not as the Bushmaster, though. If you ask me, not as the Bushmaster.
Yeah, well, you're a snake guy, and you've been all over the place. So this was recent. So you've already been in a lot of places, and I mean, jungle is amazing. There's just so many animals. But there was also an incident, I think, in Namibia. And
yes, sir.
That was last year, right?
It was last year. Yes, it was last year.
Completely different environment, right?
Completely different environment. Yes, you go from the primary forests of South America to the desert in Africa.
Yeah, how is Namibia? I've never been. How is it to be there?
It's absolutely amazing, because you just don't get the three-dimensionality of the space, because everything's so flat and so immense, that it's just like you're running into a paint, right? into a picture or something like that. It's crazy. It's absolutely amazing. Also there, like doing fieldwork there can be very, very difficult and very tiring, because
how so? How is, I mean, I presume you are in a 4-wheel drive, driving around and pitching a tent every now and then. How does that work?
Yeah, and that's the easy part. I mean, you're in the 4-wheel drive, and actually the roads are quite nice, very well organized and everything. You can literally cross the savannah without any issues, like flat land and so.
Okay.
We still got like 4 broken wheels in 2 weeks, but it's all right. Yeah, and then we got this very nice, I think it's called book tent or something like that. Well, a tent that was just set on the top of the 4-wheel drive, right? Because at night, you don't want to be on the floor, because of course there will be hyenas going around, even leopards.
You got a roof tent. Nice.
Yes, like roof tent. Exactly. That's it. We were on the roof tent, so at night we were just living up there. Super nice experience, but in the day, it gets warm so easy and so soon. That we're waking up every morning at 5, because it was just unbearable already.
All right. So you went in the hot season.
Yes. It was indeed.
So you crawl out of your roof tent, and then you go looking for snakes.
You crawl to your roof tent. You close the tent, pack everything in again. Then you go. You go for the sampling sites. And of course, we knew some local people that were telling us, yeah, if you're looking for vipers, you should go there. If you're looking for other snakes, you should go there. And
so you were specifically there for vipers. And what did you need for these vipers? Just photograph them, or what was the goal here?
I was specifically there for vipers because of a side project that I'm being part of, that is being developed by my current supervisor, PhD supervisor. We're going there to sample Namibian vipers to analyze their venom. Then genetics, phylogeography, basically they are very, very understudied. There's not really much about them. So it's a great opportunity, of course, to do some amazing fieldwork, see some fantastic animals, and publish some very nice research. Yes. And yeah, we were looking specifically for this very nice, I'm sure you know it, it's the sidewinder, I think it's called there in Namibia, right?
There is a sidewinder viper. Yeah, well, the sidewinder initially is a rattlesnake in North America, but
right,
there's
that's
also a sidewinder.
But in Namibia, with the same name, they call this very tiny viper. Yes, not particularly big, but it's just amazing how it goes on the dunes. And there's no other way to look for it, than going there in the morning on the dunes and looking for its tracks, right? The sidewinding tracks. Yes.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's just so perfectly mimetized, so perfectly camouflaged, with sand. You're never gonna find it. It just goes under the sand. So you just have to track it. Super cool. Very cool experience. And yeah, that was a fantastic experience indeed. And I also remember another nice story about it. There are also cobras. Working with cobras is a totally different thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're smarter and faster than vipers, if you ask me. All right. So, yes. Basically, we were just cruising in this all-wheel car. We were just 3 people looking for a place to stay. All right. So the sun was setting.
Nice.
The temperature was getting cooler. Was nice. At some point, we just saw this black snake crossing, and there are not that many long black snakes, that cross your path in Namibia. We're from cobras, so we're like, yeah, that's gonna be a cobra. We just pulled out of the car, grab our equipment, which are these big snake tongues, and snake hooks, to try and pin it down. Of course, also like a protective eyewear, glasses and stuff. Because there are also spitting cobras that can go straight to your eyes, and you're gonna lose them if you don't.
Right.
You can get blind. You can get blind with that. And in fact, it was a spitting cobra.
Ooh. Okay.
What happens is that this guy just falls into a bush, right? And so you got 3 guys with 3 sticks hitting this bush, trying to look for the snake. Snake just disappeared. We didn't know where it was. We're getting so frustrated.
That's a bit scary.
Very scary indeed. But I was just very frustrated because I really wanted to catch a cobra. All right. Then I just walk away, and on my hips. I'm like, I don't know. How could we lose it? How could we lose it? It was there. And all of a sudden, as I said, like the sun was setting. I feel water on my head. Like, yeah, great. It's gonna start raining now. It's even gonna start rain. Once, twice, I just brush it off. But then I think, wait a second. I'm in Namibia. It doesn't rain. I look up, perfectly clear sky, no clouds at all. And then it occurs to me that it was a spitting cobra. Spitting cobra spit venom. Venom is liquid. I turn my head, and this snake just went from a bush, and no one saw it. Climbed up a tree that was maybe an acacia. Wasn't even that tall. Was maybe 2 meters above. It was just hanging from a branch, spitting at the back of my head. From there, pulled open. It just a matter of chance that I was not looking at it. Otherwise, I would have had a complicated time, if some of that venom would have gotten in my eyes.
Yeah, because even if you wear glasses, they can still get a little bit.
It really depends. It really depends on the glasses. Yeah. They can be extremely precise when they aim for your eyes. So if they spray it, a little drop can still get in your eye. That's gonna burn.
Wow. And then, so what did you do with the cobra? I mean, you were obviously trying to catch it for
Yes.
I presume to look at the venom or something.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. We got the venom. First of all, of course, we got the cobra. We got all the protective gear needed to, handle safely this animal, like kevlar gloves and the tongues, the stuff. We just got the branch, then safely put the cobra in a bag, reinforced bags and stuff. And the morning after, like we actually measured the cobra. We got some morphological measurements of it. We got the venom, an insane amount of pictures. And for some reason, this cobra was specifically annoyed at me out of the 3 people. So for the full photo shoot, it was just spitting at me specifically.
Really?
Which is great because at least, it had always the hood open. Apparently, I was really pissing him off. I mean, anything, I swear. Well, yeah, we just let it go where we found it.
All right. And so what? And what happens to the venom? So you take that with you?
Yeah. Basically, we collected the venom. We transferred it with the pipette into an appender.
From the back of your head, I presume.
Yes, exactly. It's yes. And the fact is that it also dries very, very easily. Like, if you leave it outside, it just gets first sticky, then it dries out and becomes this little crystal, that can bring with them some impurities. So what we got is we got the venom in a little jar, I would say, in a little jar covered with paraffin, for the snake to bite it, or release the venom. Then from that, we transferred it into appenders, which are, of course, easier to transfer, and take around. And we try to keep it as cool as possible. In fact, we had also a little fridge with us, because we want to keep it cool, so it doesn't dry out immediately. And then eventually it was taken back to Europe with all the permits, of course, solved the case.
No.
We lyophilized it, and it's waiting to be analyzed.
Awesome. So that's still work to be done. Yeah.
Yes. I'm still focusing on vipers. Next step is cobras again.
Yeah. You're all over Europe at the moment, right? Chasing vipers.
That's yeah, but yeah, mostly the Iberian Peninsula, if I have to be honest. Mostly the Iberian Peninsula. I've been focusing on species from the Iberian Peninsula, which
Mhm.
are heavily understudied.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've been developing many days of fieldwork here.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them. They're quite small little snakes, but they still pack a lot of.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
presume.
You got some of them that have these very big triangular heads, very typical from vipers. Of course, the bigger the head, usually the higher the amount of venom that they can inject. Of course, what really makes it complicated when you get bitten by a snake is the amount of venom that you can inject.
But that never happened, right? I mean, you're safe.
I've never been beaten so far, and I hope to keep it that way. All right, there'll be some snakes have tried 100%. Some snakes have tried. No, so far I've been safe enough.
Good.
Every now and then, you get beaten maybe on the gloves that you use, and you kind of think, oh God, I felt the fang reaching the skin. Upper spin, oh God, let's see. You wait a bit, no, just pure fear, nothing more than that.
Okay, well, that's I mean, that's not just any glove, right? That's a highly specialized.
Yes.
Snake catching glove. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Armored gloves. The gloves of power, some people call them. So yeah.
Awesome. So you said, the Bushmaster was your number one bucket list, and you've been to a lot of places. What's next? Where would you like to go, and what animal is still there to see that you would, that would be now your new number one bucket list animal?
This is a question I've been asking myself for a while since I came back from Guyana. Because after you eat the top, what do you want to see next? Right? Come on, I need something more. Right?
I don't know, a gaboon viper or something.
A gaboon viper, yes, that would be great. But you know what I thought about? I was like, right, I've been in South Africa, in Southern Africa. I mean, I've been in South America. I've been around, so I've seen these tropical places. What am I missing? Asia, 100%.
Yes. Okay.
What do we have there? King cobras. There we go.
That's your answer. All right. That's the next one on the list then.
If you're going for big venomous snakes, you want to go for a big king cobra, 100%. So yeah, I would say that's three.
And is that planned already? Are you planning any trips to Asia or not?
I'm planning a trip for the beginning of 2024, when there will be the World Congress for Herpetology. It will be in Southeast Asia.
Oh, perfect.
Saving some money, joining the Congress, and then maybe disappearing for 1 month in the jungle there, just to look for cobras.
I think you won't be the only one at the Herpetological Congress that will be looking for a king cobra.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone is going for that. Yes, sir. So yeah, starting saving money right now, because disappearing for 1 month can be a bit complicated.
Chasing the next snake to study their venom. That's
Yes.
really cool. So, if people want to follow your scientific work, where do we go? Do we go follow you on Twitter, Instagram? Where can we find you on the social webs?
Oh yes, 100%. I can give you my contacts, Twitter and Instagram. Exactly. I'm using them at exactly the same contact.
What's your Twitter name? What's your Instagram name?
Is Nacho_Herp. Very, very original, I know.
Nacho_Herp. All right.
Yes.
Yes. I'll put those.
Follow me.
I'll put those on the screen somehow.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, man. Thanks for the.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you for having me. Thanks.
And
thank you very much.
Sounds like I'll have to ask you back in a few years' time when you've seen that king cobra.
Looking forward to it, man. Yes, sir. Or if you follow me on Instagram, hopefully I will be able to post a picture of it if I see it.
Even better. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.